Ladies and gentlemen, please rise.
Greetings. Welcome. My name is Dr. Wanda Costin, and I have the distinct honor and privilege of serving as the Provost and Vice President Academic here at Dalhousie University. Welcome to today's commencement. Please be seated. I invite Elder Ann Bilowa to deliver the Mi'kmaq welcome.
Kwe. Hello. Nin Dalhousie, Ann Bilowa. My name is Ann Bilowa, and I'm a Mi'kmaq from New Brunswick, northern New Brunswick, and I love to say my ancestors welcome your ancestors with open arms, and this is something that they used to love to do. I don't know the language, but I only know a few words, and I know that Dalhousie means welcome, and the elders told me it means welcome, to come into my lodge, come in and take the best seat of the house next to me, and I will share with you all that I have. So it means more than just welcome. It's like come in, you know, with open arms, with an open heart. And I want to say congratulations. Wow, congratulations, students. Woo! And not to forget the love of family and everybody that got you here. Congratulations to you. So I want to share with you, it's very important, and when I say that today is a special day, it's a special day because I'll let you know that when I woke up this morning, I was still here. And that meant a lot to me. I was still breathing, I could still open my eyes and get up. So I had so much to be grateful for, so much. And to share with you what I had learned in my journey, because I never knew that I was a Native person till I was probably around 16, and that's a whole other story and journey. But as time went on, I learned how to be able to sit and visit my ancestors by taking a moment. And then I met my breath, and I realized that I did not breathe on my own, that this gift was given to each and every one of us, because Spirit does not judge, does not criticize, it does not separate anybody. That breath of life is given to everyone because we are loved this much. And what a gift. So I have to learn in my lifetime to say thank you. Thank you. Very simple. So I'm going to have you meet your breath, and this is the part I love. So I'm going to ask everyone to close their eyes, and if you're not comfortable closing your eyes, that's perfectly fine. But you're going to meet your breath, and you're going to breathe in through your nostrils very gently, and then let it out through your nostrils very gently. So let's try that. This breath in, and this breath out. This breath in, and this breath out. This breath in, I am well and whole. This breath out, I have so much to be grateful for. This breath in, and this breath out, and allow your shoulders to just let go. Let your muscles relax and feel the true feeling of relief and a moment of peace. And that you're as vulnerable as a newborn baby, but yet so safe. This breath in, And this breath out. And now you can sit and just be the best you can with the one who gives you your breath. And let all the anxiety and whatever has happened today to get you here, and what is going to take place in the future, or even later on, just let that be. And just feel your breath, what it does to you when you take it in, and how it releases and takes everything you don't need when you let it go. O great Spirit, whose voice I hear in the wind, whose breath gives life to all, hear me, for I am young, small, and weak, but I need your strength and help so much. Take my hands and help me to respect the beautiful things you have created, including myself. Take my feet and guide me. Guide me so that I can find that way of life, that path that has courage, that has understanding, that has compassion, that has forgiveness and knows acceptance and is full of love, abundance, honesty, wisdom, and peace. This breath in and this breath out. I am all that. Help me not to be above my brothers and sisters, but to conquer the greatest enemy, myself. And may I learn the lessons you have placed in every leaf and rock, so I can learn these teachings and bring them back to the people, so that when my eyes fade like the setting sun, my spirit can come to you without shame. Tahoe, this breath in, and this breath out, and just sit and be and relax your shoulders. And now you can bring yourself back into the present moment and slowly open your eyes. And when you do, you will feel that sensation of being in a very healing moment. And it's something that we forget, because there is time for everything. There's a time to feel sad and grateful and angry, but it's what we do with it that makes all the difference in our life and in the world. But to take a moment and to help ourselves heal in that moment, because that's what your physical being does. It's a healing machine, but it needs help. It needs that moment to be there and to be well. So I just want to say, Walaliyok, thank you, all of you, and congratulations to everyone again. Like, wow. In Sonogama, all my relations.
Thank you, Elder Ann, for that beautiful opening. Dalhousie University is located on Mi'kma'ki, the ancestral and unceded territory of the Lenape. We are all treaty people. There are three components to this statement. The first is the acknowledgement the land Dalhousie sits on as part of Mi'kma'ki, the territory of Lenape. The second is the acknowledgement of the territory as both ancestral and unceded, recognizing the peace and friendship treaties signed between the British Crown and the Mi'kmaq did not involve surrender of land. Finally, the phrase, "we are all treaty people," reminds us that these treaties apply to all of us, indigenous and settler alike. At Dalhousie, we continue to work and build on this critical, important relationships and friendships, and we remain committed to the recommendations of the Truth and Reconciliation Committee report. We also recognize African Nova Scotians as a distinct people whose histories, legacies, and contributions have enriched Mi'kma'ki, known as Nova Scotia, for more than 400 years, beginning in 1604. Many African Nova Scotians arrived in the province through enslavement or while seeking freedom from enslavement elsewhere. Their contributions to this province and to Canada began more than 150 years before Canada became a country. We are deeply grateful to the Indigenous and African Nova Scotian faculty, staff, students, administrators, and elders who help guide our efforts, from our pathway programs and admissions to curriculum and community partnerships. While we recognize there is still more to do, we remain committed to a future grounded in equity and inclusive excellence. As Elder Ann said, today is a day of celebrations. It is also a day of endings and new beginnings. As we proceed and move forward, I hope that you will celebrate each and every graduate with joy, happiness, and enthusiasm. And for you who are about to become alumni, welcome to the Dalhousie alumni family. I'd like to take a moment to introduce to you the stage party. As I call your name, if you're able, please stand, or please signal and wave so folks know who you are. Elder Ann Abilawa. Dr. Rustam Southwell, Chancellor. Dr. Kim Brooks, President and Vice Chancellor. Dr. Louise Spiteri, Chair of Senate. Sarah Harding, Dean of the Schulich School of Law. Dr. Marty Leonard, Dean of the Faculty of Graduate Studies. I'm especially honored to introduce our next stage party member, John Sillaboy, Vice Provost for Indigenous Relations. Connor Falvey, recipient of the Outstanding Achievement DPMG Award and Research Facilitator with the Schulich School of Law and University Beadle for this ceremony. And Justice Ann Derrick, our convocation speaker. There are many who have contributed to your success. I'd like to also acknowledge especially the faculty and staff who've been so instrumental in your success here at Dalhousie, and I will ask faculty and staff to please stand if you can, or to raise your hand so that we can acknowledge you. Thank you. As your MC, I also have some logistics to work through. So you'll notice behind you and around you, there are green signs. Those are your exit signs in the event of an emergency and we have to exit. We don't anticipate that, but one never knows. And at this moment, I would like to welcome our President and Vice Chancellor of Dalhousie University, Dr. Kim Brooks, to give opening remarks.
Let me begin simply. We're really proud of you. We're proud of your perseverance through late nights and heavy reading, your engagement in debate and dissent, your creativity and resilience in the face of complexity. We're proud of your growth, intellectual and personal, over these last 3 years. You are the latest to join a long line of graduates from Dalhousie's Schulich School of Law. Your name will soon be etched in a roll outside the dean's office, beside names that tell the story of a school that has never been afraid to be first. First in common law legal education in Canada, and first in pressing for legal education that meets the needs of our times. We call it the Weldon tradition, an insistence on high academic standards, a belief in the value of rich engagements between professors and students, and an enduring commitment to unselfish public service. It's more than a slogan, it's a set of instructions. Work with rigor, live with integrity, and serve others. You've already begun doing it. I know it from the stories I've heard, the initiatives you've led, the questions you've asked, and the care you've shown, and that gives me and us hope. These remarks proceed in 4 parts. 1A, 1B, 1C, and 1D. 1A. This year we said goodbye to one of the great exemplars of the Weldon tradition, Professor William or Bill Charles. Bill joined the faculty in 1963 and left a mark that is hard to overstate. He was a wonderful orator, a principled voice in legal reform, and a tireless advocate for access to justice. His expertise earned him a Queen's Counsel and an honorary degree. He served as dean of our law school from 1980 to 1985 and remained an active member of our intellectual community for decades, publishing in the Dalhousie Law Journal as recently as last year when he was 96. And tellingly, that last article was about justice in Nova Scotia's small claims court. It was very long, for the record. Bill believed deeply in justice and the possibility of law to do good, and he did what many of us hope to do. He taught with conviction and compassion, and he made us better. May you live life in the spirit that it was lived by Dean Charles, with care and concern for others, a deep curiosity about law and its potential, and the ability to generate laughter from a place incredibly deep in your belly. 1B. The world you are graduating into is not a quiet one. It's marked by environmental crises, digital disruption, democratic fragility, and deep inequities. It's a world that will ask more of you than technical precision. It will ask you to bring imagination, courage, and a sense of ethical responsibility. It will ask you to think critically and act compassionately. At Dalhousie, we have long known that legal education is not simply about creating specialists in contracts, torts, and property, although of course we need those. It's about preparing people to foster relationships, repair harm, build inclusive systems, regulate power, and shape societies in ways that honor dignity and advance justice. The law at its best is a human project. It's not neutral. It reflects the choices we make, who we listen to, what we value, and what we fight for. And the truth is, it doesn't change by itself. It changes when lawyers like you refuse to accept things must stay as they are. May you live a life that enables you to see the way law could serve humanity, and may you have the courage to rise to its ideals. 1C. As Dalhousie Law graduates, you join a tradition, but you do not inherit it passively. You shoulder the obligation to carry it forward and to reshape it. You walk in the footsteps of people like Bertha Wilson, who opened the doors of the Supreme Court for women for the first time, of Rocky Jones, who reminded us that law must be accountable to those it has excluded, of Connie Gluby, who made space for others even as she shouldered the weight of being first, of Diane Poitier, who never flinched from complexity and who believed that equality was a right, not a reward. The heroes who found themselves in these seats before you were not perfect people. They were complicated, brilliant, full human beings who refused to settle for a status quo that did not serve the public good. They asked hard questions, and they taught and continue to teach us to do the same. May you, through the way you approach your work and personal lives, shoulder the weight of your responsibility and the legacy you inherit with grace and integrity. May you find yourself at your 60th law reunion wearing pants that are just a little too tight, with meaningful stories to tell about your travels and where they have taken you. 1D. Now it's your turn. Look around you. These are your colleagues, your future collaborators, and your lifelong interlocutors. Together you form the class of 2025. Your names will be added to the long list that hangs outside the dean's office. You will have opportunities, you will face hard choices. I hope you will meet both with humility, joy, and a sense that you are part of something bigger than yourselves. That you do that in the Weldon tradition, working with rigor, living with integrity, and serving others. And remember that when all else fails, you can refer to things in paragraphs. 1A, 1B, 1C, and 1D. Thank you for sharing these years with us. Congratulations, and welcome to the profession.
Thank you, President Brooks. Graduates, please rise. We will now begin the conference of degrees. Chancellor Southwell, as Chair of the Senate of Dalhousie University, I ask you to confer degrees upon those candidates whose names have been approved by Senate.
By virtue of the authority vested in me and in Dalhousie University, I admit to their respective degrees and diplomas with all rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto those candidates who have fulfilled the requirements of that degree and whose names have been approved by Senate. Admito vos ad gradum.
Congratulations. Graduates, please be seated.
Well, now is the time we've all been waiting for, the fun part, indeed. As you come across the stage, a couple of reminders for our graduates is that your dean will be standing here to greet you. There will be pictures here for family and friends who'd like to come. That's probably the best spot to do that. And you will also receive your alumni pin welcoming you into the community of Dalhousie alumni. I now call upon Sarah Harding, Dean of the Schulich School of Law, Dr. Marty Leonard, Dean of the Faculty of Graduate Studies, and Ella McDonald, our orator, and an alum from the Fountain School of Performing Arts, to present the candidates who are here today receiving their degrees.
Chancellor Southwell, I am honored to present the following candidates on behalf of the Schulich School of Law who have fulfilled the requirements for the degree of Juris Doctor. Aisha Abji. Sarah Darlene Adams. Emma Grace McGregor Archibald. Hannah Arsenault Gallant. Harshini Arugam, oh sorry, excuse me everybody. Harshini Arumugam. Zinzi Akili Kathleen Azubuke. Allison Margaret Balcom. Ryan Alexandra Barr. Lucas George Barcy. Brona Freya Beatty. Ailish Laura Hurley Bergen. Deeksha Bhaskar. Charlotte Elizabeth Burke. Erin Cadigan. Isaac Kane. Isabel Ann Calderhead. Amanda Jillian Cash. Aylin Margaret Jenkins Chant. Leslie Chang. Antonia Eva Maria Kirkup. Samantha Emma Clark. Austin Keith Clary. Shannon Nicole Coleman. Marcellus Alonzo Cogswell Wright. Andre Mireille Rose Como. Kristen Heather Cook. Marie Cooper. Lorenz L. Cromwell. David James Cruz. Cole Robert Leonard Kernew. Noah Anthony Rudolph Davis. Preet Dhaliwal. Kirsten Dyka. Alexandra Meredith Doan. Patricia Marie Doran. David Dorian. Lucas Jared Doucette. Jordan Mackenzie Down. Emily Feng. Hannah Justine Ferrara. Rebecca Marie Flanagan. Ian Edwin Anderson Fleming. Maya Lauren Gagnon. Paige Alexandra Gallant. Jake Maxwell Garson. Jude Gazal. Daniel Russell Goffenberg. Mia Sita Gohil. David Johannes Buchanan Gauss. Taylor Ashley Green. Kavi Gunawardan. Danielle Linda Hargreaves. Arthur Alexander McCrae Harris. Alex Harrison. George Elliott Hernandez. Michaela Maria Tassoni Hill. Ashley Hope Hilton. Alexandra Nicole Hollis. Gregory Glenn Haloka. Madeline Olivia Smith Horn. Katrina Maria Lashinsky Hurley. Oliver Frederick Hike. Jamie Danielle Irvine. Rachel Ann Ivy. Kayla Marie Jackman. Alicia Jacob. Sean Gregory Gaynor Jenke. Gavin Harrison Jolly. Salma Kamalipour. Robert James Kavanaugh. McKinley Cecile Kelch. Megan Shannon Kiley. Samuel Ian Wombolt Kimball. Gerald Lai. Kane Jeffrey Lander. Hannah Maureen Lee. Rachel Catherine Legg. Joyce Sija Lee. Amelia Lowen. Hans Constantine Loig. Benjamin James Lahore. Grace Lynn Adeline Longmire. Kate Susan Love. Morgan Loist McInnes. Brianna Margaret K. Ludlow. Megan Jane McKay. Susanna Isabel Mackenzie Freeman. Beatrix Rose Marsh. Ethan Campbell Martin. Mashel Andrew Maxwell. Donna Colette Jesu Bami Conchi. Luke Alistair McGowan. Kira Alista McKeezy. Rachel Lee Georgette McMillan. Karina Taylor McNeil. Simon Meekers. Sophie Eileen Morito. Hayden Tennyson Murdoch. Asia Murphy. Anne Marie Nightingale. Madeline Laurel O'Brien. Olua Fisayo Eniola Angantona. Sierra O'Keefe. Edward Frank Patton. Michelle Paglia. Lucas Paniak. Suzanne Monique Patlis. Chantel Peng. Jordan Perot. Ella Peterson. Campbell Pickard. Zachary Gillis Pierce. Hannah Marie Pond. Rachel Portalance. Sophie Katie McGinnis Porter. Daniel Colin Matthew Reed. Jaffrey Rice. Brannon Edward Riley. Donovan Francis Nippon Roche. Charles Alexander Rockwell. Diana Rogers. Jeffrey Scott Rogers. Oye Bade Sunye Olu. Emily Christine Sarek. Alexander Robert Sars. Andrew Owen Sevier. Noor Milad Shawish. Liam Victor Ale V. Sherlock. Sky Shin. Anu Sidhu. Deshaun Eugene Smith. Elena Michelle Solimano. Anna Belen Speranza. Gabriella Lynn Swanson. Mira Alexandra Stevenson. Faith Thompson. Ashley Elizabeth Thornton. Andrea Michelle Tomko. Beck Traversa. Tuig. Mallory Catherine Viget. Petra Ann Weibel. Jacob Harrison Walters. Thea Walters. Jane Margaret Warren. Kieran Reese Watson. Juliet Watts. Andrew James Donald Weir. Caroline Elizabeth Whalen. Matthew Alexander Williams. Wendy Yang. This concludes the presentation of candidates for the Juris Doctor. Chancellor Southwell, I am honored to present, on behalf of the Faculty of Graduate Studies, the following candidates who have fulfilled the requirements for the degree of Master of Laws. Linda Serwa Bois. Diana Burns. Benjamin Donald Hoskins. Mizetuba Karen John. This concludes the presentation of candidates for the Master of Laws.
Mr. Chancellor, the degree of Doctor of Philosophy is the highest earned degree awarded by the university, and as such, it represents the culmination of extensive scholarly research and outstanding academic achievement. The following candidate, through thesis and examination, has fulfilled the requirements for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Further, Mr. Chancellor, the awarding of the degree marks the completion of a long collaboration between the candidate and their supervisor, and we are pleased in this ceremony to also recognize the supervisor of our doctoral graduates. And if they're here today, I welcome them to join me in congratulating their graduate as they cross the stage. And a very warm welcome for you, our graduate, to sit with us when you're finished.
Mohammed Alikhani, Doctor of Philosophy in Law. Supervised by David Vanderswag.
Well done. You gotta love it. Ah, it's so crazy.
Chancellor Southwell, this concludes the presentation of candidates who are here today to receive the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
It is now my pleasure to call Dean Sarah Harding to present the recipient of the University Medal in Law.
Thank you. Chancellor Southwell, it is my pleasure to present the recipient of the 2025 University Medal in Law. This medal is awarded to the graduating student who has achieved the highest cumulative average over the 3 years of the JD program. This recipient is selected from among those attaining first-class distinction in their third year and must have demonstrated an exceptional standard of academic excellence. This year's recipient is Michaela Hill. Stay here for now. Stay here for now. So, Michaela, oh, you're going to get a standing ovation. Michaela has to listen to me embarrass her for a few moments. Michaela is from Toronto and completed her undergraduate degree in an integrated arts and science program at McMaster University. Today, Michaela graduates from law school with a 3-year cumulative average of A. She is the recipient of 8 academic awards in recognition of her outstanding performance in individual courses, as well as her overall academic achievement. She also received a discretionary award nominated by her peers for upholding exemplary standards of professionalism and public service. After graduation, Michaela will article at Tories in Toronto, focusing on civil litigation, and following that, she will be clerking with the Court of Appeal for Ontario. On a personal note, I had the pleasure of getting to know Michaela over this past year, and in addition to all these important accolades, I can add that she is truly a decent human being. She approaches life and others with humility, respect, and curiosity. I'm so proud that she's a graduate. So proud we can call her our own. So please join me in congratulating Michaela and wishing her continued success as she embarks on her legal career. Now you can walk.
Mr. Chancellor, it is my pleasure to announce the 2025 winner of the Governor General's Gold Medal in Humanities and Social Sciences goes to Diana Burns, who I think, is Diana here? Yes, good. Graduated today with a Master of Laws. And I would like to invite Diana to join us on the stage to receive her medal. Mr. Chancellor, I'll bring Diane over here to embarrass her a little bit before this is over. Mr. Chancellor, the Governor General's Gold Medal is awarded each year to the most outstanding master's candidate in the humanities and social sciences. And I'd just like to tell you a little bit about why I think Diane is so deserving of this award. To begin with, during her master's degree, she received straight A's in all of her required courses. And while doing a master's, she also completed a certificate in university teaching and learning, just, on the side. Diana also completed a challenging thesis entitled Supporting Donors, a Critical Analysis of the Power of Attorney Regime in Nova Scotia. Diana's thesis asked whether educational resources addressing Nova Scotia's recently reformed Power of Attorney Act might help foster a shift in culture toward supported decision-making. Diana evaluated and found that providing education and resources to the public increased confidence and understanding of the fiduciary duties engaged by powers of attorney, particularly enduring powers of attorney. Diana's thesis, without a doubt, will increase access to justice, especially for those with disabilities in financial and property decision-making. So thank you, Diana. Oh, no. And in closing, I have just a little bit more. I would like to quote a short excerpt from the nomination letter written by Dr. Sheila Wildman, who was Diana's supervisor. And Dr. Wildman wrote, "Diana's thesis goes further than other Canadian scholarship on supported decision-making. It weds attention to human rights with attention to the experiences and perspectives of people poised to support the decision-making of persons with disabilities in accordance with human rights." Mr. Chancellor, we are proud to recognize the achievements of Diana Burns with the 2025 Governor General's Gold Medal in Humanities and Social Sciences.
Congratulations to our two distinguished award recipients. At this time, I'd like to call, I'm going to make sure I get your last name right. I'd like to call upon Lorenz Cromwell to deliver the valedictorian address.
Wow. I just want to start off by saying I'm so excited to be up here. And for those of you in the audience who I don't know or I haven't met, my name is Lorenz Cromwell. I'm an 8th generation African Nova Scotian with community ties to North Preston and the Preston Township, Weymouth Falls, Digby, Whitney Pier, Dartmouth, Halifax. I'm around the way. And before I speak to my class, I just really want to take this time to talk specifically to my family, so please bear with me. Where are you guys at? Right there? I see you, bro. Okay. We made it. We made it, though. That's crazy. Yeah, I am the first lawyer in my family, the first person to attend law school, and sincerely, I could not be here without my community and my family and the supports around me. So I am because we are, so thank you so much. To say that it is an honor and a privilege to stand here today as the valedictorian is an understatement. I never imagined this for myself. Thank you for those of my peers who you thought that I had the capacity to be up here. And legitimately, I didn't see this because all of you shared a classroom with me, and I was 100% certain you were sick of hearing my voice by now. But on behalf of our graduating class, I do just want to say thank you to the faculty at the Schulich School of Law, to the staff and to the administration for helping mentor us, guide us, and ensure that we had the best possible legal education that we could achieve. To my graduating class, though, I had no clue how to start a speech like this. So I thought maybe I could share some of the thoughts of my family members. So I started by asking my family, when I told you I was planning to go to law school, what did you think? And so I got very different answers from my siblings and my parents. So my siblings, who idolize me, my sister Jaylyn said that it was a perfect fit. It aligned with my passion for social justice and for community advocacy. My younger brother Josh, he told me it seemed incredible because I have such a curious nature and I really care for people's stories and teasing them out. My dad told me it was a great career choice to keep up with my spending habit. And my mom's answer was the funniest of all, which was, I always was good at defending nonsense positions. And I kind of wanted to share this to say, we all might come from different backgrounds. We might have different stories. But there are traits that we all share that brought us together to Weldon and to the Schulich School of Law. And I just want to acknowledge the fact that we should celebrate because law school is hard. There's a lot of long nights, grueling exam periods, having to listen to Professor Shapiro yell at like 9 in the morning. But your determination, your work ethic, and your care are all things that I got to interact with that were absolutely incredible. So my mom used to tell me something when I was a child. She used to say all the time when I was upset with other people that everybody has a story, Lorenz, and you might be interacting with a page of it, and you can't judge them based on that page because anyone can enter a new chapter. And so entering law school in this 3 years have been really challenging for me personally. I've experienced a lot of loss in my family. Just in this past academic year, I lost 4 different people, the most recent being my grandmother last week. And something that was so incredible for me in just listening to the stories of my family, in seeing how they're represented within the law. It was really hard for me, especially in first year, reconciling with the concept of the rule of law. It's an idea that the rule of law is that the law applies to everybody equally. But I didn't see my people, my family's stories fully represented within it. It was incredible that we all got to share a novel experience, cool legal term, of the African Nova Scotians and the law and critical race theory course. It was mandatory for us in first year, the first course of its kind in Canada. And to have my own story and my family's story represented and discussed was incredible for me. And it's not a secret, we all sort of had a complicated situation in first year. But like for me, it was really hard experiencing individual experiences of racism in the classroom. My grandfather, who passed away in October, his story is something that I thought of a lot during law school. My grandfather grew up in segregated North Preston. When he passed away without legal title to his land. So for my grandfather, when he was a young man at my age, in his story, he could not have imagined me standing on this stage, not just being able to get a law degree, but entering into a profession where financially I'll be able to bring legal title back into my family for the first time in hundreds of years. Thank you. But what was complicated for me in this experience that a lot of us shared in 1L is that I was told that systemic racism isn't real, that the judiciary and the courts don't have an obligation to acknowledge it, respect it, or challenge it. And for me, it wasn't just an attack on my people, it was an attack on my story. And I cannot express this enough. The fact that I am an 8th generation African Nova Scotian, I am not new to racism. It wasn't a surprise, it wasn't a shock, but what was incredible was the way that you, my peers, stood up to protect my story. We stood together in solidarity. The care that you showed up with to not just help me, but to help my peers, you helped my family, and you helped my community, and that means the world to me. I won't presume to be able to give you any sort of advice on practice, but your willingness to protect stories is something that I want you to hold on to. When we're practicing, often when we think about the law, it can be so rigid. There's like 4-part tests. What did you say, President Brooks? Part 1A, Part B, C, and D. It can be so rigid and inflexible. But when you remember that the law is meant to represent your clients, it is meant to fit within their stories. When you choose to protect that, you are upholding the law and helping transform it. During our ANSCRT intensive, Professor Williams said something that stuck with me that I'm going to hold on to for the rest of my life. She said that love and care are what transform law into justice. So thank you all for helping me see justice throughout my law school career. I hope that we're all able to share that same care for people's stories with our clients, regardless of if you're in corporate law, criminal, environmental, and anything in between. In closing, I just want to say that even though this law school experience has been hard, this has been one of the greatest experiences in my entire life. And that is because each and every one of you. You are all we're all been a part of each other's journeys. And I hope that we're able to celebrate each other and ourselves. So please, it's been hard. Again, Shapiro yelled a lot. So let's celebrate, let's have fun, and let's continue to protect the stories of the people around us. Thank you.
Thank you, Lorenz. I certainly would not want to be your opponent in a court of law. Very persuasive. At this moment, I'd like to take just a quick second to allow our graduates to recognize the people who have supported you, in particular the folks in your family and friends. If you would mind joining us and giving them a round of applause.
So our very last item on our marvelous celebration for today is our convocation speech. I have a formal introduction for Justice Ann Derrick, which I'll read in a moment. But I want to start by recalling that when I was a law student here at Dalhousie in the late 1980s, Ann Derrick was a bit of a hero to many of us. She did the hard and important work of representing people that others wouldn't, and she fought fiercely on their behalf. The courage, tenacity, brilliance, and humanity that she brought to her work and to our understanding of what one could do as a lawyer was eye-opening and impressive. So it's a truly awesome privilege for me to have her here with us today, and a deep honor to be able to introduce her. So a formal introduction now. Justice Derrick has a joint honors Bachelor of Arts from Mount St. Vincent and Dalhousie Universities, and an LLB from Dalhousie Law School. She was admitted to the Nova Scotia Bar in 1981 and was recognized as Queen's Counsel in 2000. She was awarded a Doctor of Humane Letters from Mount St. Vincent University in 1999. She is a proud alumnus of Dalhousie Legal Aid. For over 24 years, she had a practice focusing on criminal law, including criminal defense, public interest and equality litigation, and social justice advocacy. She appeared as counsel in a number of public and fatality inquiries and reviews, and in all levels of court in Nova Scotia, the Federal Court of Appeal, the courts of New Brunswick and Prince Edward Island, and the Supreme Court of Canada. She acted in many widely publicized cases, including on behalf of Donald Marshall Jr., Dr. Henry Morgenthaler, and for Pandora Publishing, a woman's only newspaper at a human rights inquiry into its equality-promoting activities. She was also privileged to represent less visible clients, such as women in the sex trade and survivors of historic sexual and physical abuse at youth institutions in Nova Scotia. She was appointed in 2017 to Nova Scotia's highest court, the Nova Scotia Court of Appeal, directly from the Nova Scotia Provincial Court. Justice Derrick is also fiercely proud of her three spirited daughters and her beloved partner, Archie Kaiser. Justice Derrick.
Well, thank you very much, Dean Harding, for that very generous introduction. I will have to have a word with you and Lorenz after the ceremony for almost making me cry. Graduates and families, professors, and all distinguished guests, it is an honor to be part of this celebratory occasion and to feel your wonderful energy and hear about your tremendous accomplishments. I do want to thank Dean Harding in particular for the invitation to address you this afternoon. I am truly privileged to do so. So let me start with my very warmest congratulations to you and your families. This afternoon, you have crossed a finish line in what has felt at times like a marathon. And you are almost out the door and on to the celebration you have richly earned. You can look at the next 10 minutes as good practice, because it won't be the last time that you have to sit quietly and maintain a polite resting face while a judge holds the floor to talk about something serious when you would rather be somewhere else. Now, I graduated from Dalhousie Law School, very proudly, I might add, in 1980. And for those of you who went to law school because you didn't like math, that's 45 years ago. And I know you thought all the fossils were at the Natural History Museum. But we have one thing in common. You, the graduating class of 2025, and me, we graduated in a democratic country. The law graduates of 2025 in the United States of America, the world's oldest continuous democracy, cannot say that with as much confidence as you still can. Democracy is the context for my address this afternoon, and the special responsibilities we all have as independent judges and lawyers to protect it, and where it falls short, to transform it. Democracy is, after all, a shared participatory process. I want to make the point, and it is not an original one, but plucked from How Democracies Die, the 2018 book by Harvard professors Stephen Levitsky and Daniel Ziblatt, that democracies can be destroyed not just by men with guns, but at the hands of elected leaders who subvert the very process that brought them to power. And democracies can be eroded slowly, the professors tell us, in barely visible steps. Liberal democracies have become the least common form of governance in the world. 72% of people in the world live now in autocracies, the highest number since 1978. We should not think that Canada is immune. In 2024, Fair Vote Canada noted there is a disturbing trend in this country of dissatisfaction with traditional democratic institutions and increased levels of support for non-democratic alternatives. In authoritarian regimes, it is the courts, universities, and the independent media that are in the crosshairs. Professors Levitsky and Ziblatt note that the process of breaking down a democracy often begins with words: the vilification of democratic institutions by autocrats, attacking their authority, subverting their independence, and eroding public confidence in their legitimacy. Increasingly, we are seeing attacks directed at judges and lawyers. The October 2024 report of the UN's Special Rapporteur on the independence of judges and lawyers warns of a growing trend of governments undermining democracy by attacking the rule of law and the independence of judicial systems. The report found, and I quote, "Justice systems and personnel play an essential role in safeguarding democracy, ensuring free and fair elections and the peaceful transfer of power, enforcing key rights, guaranteeing that the law is applied equally to all people, including state officials, and checking excessive power of political actors. But these important roles also make justice systems a target for power-seeking political actors attempting to weaken them or to seize command. In his book, How Fascism Works, Professor Jason Stanley, formerly of Yale University until his recent move to the University of Toronto, speaks very directly about how attacks on the judiciary can lead to the unraveling of the rule of law. He said, "Fascist states focus on dismantling the rule of law with the goal of replacing it with the dictates of individual rulers or party bosses. It is standard in fascist politics for harsh criticism of an independent judiciary to occur in the form of accusations of bias, a kind of corruption, critiques that are then used to replace independent judges with those who will cynically employ the law as a means to protect the interests of the ruling party. In the name of rooting out corruption and supposed bias, fascist politicians attack and diminish the institutions that might otherwise check their power." We are all well aware of the attacks being mounted south of our border against judges and lawyers who have pushed back against the current American administration's trampling of their Constitution. In March, the President of the United States labeled the Chief Judge of the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia a radical left lunatic and called for his impeachment in the wake of an order to halt the removal of Venezuelan migrants. This evoked a rare rebuke from Chief Justice John Roberts, who said, "Impeachment is not an appropriate response to disagreements concerning a judicial decision. The normal appellate review process exists for that purpose." Chief Justice Roberts has also since described the rule of law as endangered. That is not hyperbole. A central feature of the rule of law is the obligation of the executive branch of government to respect the independence of the judiciary and the bar. Subversion of the guardrails represented by an independent judiciary and bar are recognized dangers here at home. Earlier this year, the 150th anniversary of the Supreme Court of Canada, Chief Justice Wagner characterized attacks on the rule of law and judicial independence as attacks on democracy. And the current president of the Canadian Bar Association, Lynn Vickers, reminds us that the independence of the bar and the judiciary are not just abstract ideals. They're real interconnected pillars of democracy, and they require our active attention and protection. If we want to assert our sovereignty in this country, we have to protect the courts and the profession from efforts that could undermine their independence or the public's trust in them. Attacks on the judiciary and attempts to politicize it are not isolated to our neighbor to the south. There is the recent example of the Premier of Ontario's criticism of the bail system and a judge's issuance of a temporary injunction against the removal of bike lanes in Toronto. The Premier's comments accused judges of ruling based on ideology and suggested that the problem of what he called terrible, terrible bleeding heart judges could be solved by adopting a system of electing rather than appointing judges so that they can be held accountable. There were strong retorts from members of the bar and the judiciary to these comments. The former chair of the Federation of Ontario Law Associations said it is not the function of the courts to let the government do what it wants. And strikingly, on April 30th, 2025, the three Chief Justices of Ontario for the Court of Appeal, the Superior Court of Justice, and the Ontario Court of Justice issued a public statement regarding judicial independence. They said, "Judicial independence is a cornerstone of our constitutional democracy. An independent judiciary protects the public, not just judicial officials. And to fulfill the role of interpreting and applying the law in accordance with the Constitution, the judiciary must be distinct from and operate independently of all other justice system participants, including the other two branches of government." The justices concluded their unprecedented public statement by acknowledging that our justice system is founded on public confidence, that judges are actually independent, impartial, and fair. Delegitimizing the judiciary and lawyers is a tactic straight out of the autocrat's playbook. Political attacks against judicial rulings, weaponized invective, labeling judges as enemies of the state and rogue, and intimidation tactics deflect accountability and diminish public confidence in the judiciary and the justice system broadly. I opened my remarks this afternoon by saying that as law graduates, you are imbued with special responsibilities. What was I getting at? I will zero in on my point after sharing a short story with you. In a recent article published by The Guardian Online, Mark Denbo, Professor Emeritus at Seton Hall Law School in New Jersey, was drawing a parallel between his experiences as a lawyer and what he is observing now. For 18 years, Professor Denbo represented 4 detainees held at the notorious Guantanamo Naval Base who had endured torture by the CIA. As Professor Denbo points out, Guantanamo was chosen because it was thought by the American administration following 9/11 to be beyond the reach of the rule of law. He relates a conversation during a visit with his client. His client asked why he was there and what Professor Denbo could do for him. Professor Denbo explained that the Supreme Court had allowed him to have a lawyer to represent him. The client was unimpressed. He said, "And if you win in court for me, what good will winning be? How big is the Supreme Court's army?" That story drives home the functional reality of our constitutional democracy. The courts do not have an army. We depend on the legislative and executive branches, our co-equals, abiding by our rulings. Disparaging judges as illegitimate and meddlesome is designed to sabotage public confidence and undermine judicial authority. And words can become actions in a polarized society marinated in distrust of and hostility toward democratic norms and democratic institutions. With the authority of your law degree and your specialized knowledge about the legal system and our constitutional order, you can contradict false narratives about the function of judges and lawyers in our society. You can be active, influential participants in supporting democratic norms and practices. You are not spectators. You can make a difference. You need to be fearless and defiant in the face of authoritarian creep and democratic backsliding. You must resist the temptation to think it can't happen here. Our democracy depends on us, within the context of our respective roles, to bolster the capacity of our democratic institutions and improve them, to protect fundamental rights and freedoms, and to contribute with vigor and resolve to a robust and resilient civil society. And in the words of Desmond Tutu, if you are neutral in situations of injustice, you have chosen the side of the oppressor. Be brave out there. Be honorable, principled, and resolute. You didn't earn that law degree just to put it on your wall. And before you go about the business of defending democracy, have a wonderful time celebrating and being celebrated. Thank you.
Thank you, Justice. You would have no way of knowing this, but I happen to be a U.S. citizen, so I'm uniquely grateful for that, because that's really what it's about. Thank you for that. Graduates, today you are led into this ceremony, and you will be led out by our beadle carrying the new dawn staff of place and belonging. This staff is more than a ceremonial symbol. It embodies Dalhousie's diverse and inclusive community, crafted with materials, textures, and symbols reflecting the richness and diversity of individuals like you. Graduates have shaped our campus and who are now going to join this wonderful network of 160,000 Dalhousie alumni. The formal process of the convocation is over, but I invite you to please remain seated as we exit and have a wonderful rest of the day. Congratulations again.
Give me the diminish, don't delio no day, nigga much good, my we done it. Give me the diminish, don't what a big soul day, nigga much good. Abahon madultinet, abahon madultinet, dan gisuk eliga haluk sigo ulau si amo we ahel we yo we ha ya ya we yo he ha ya we yo he ha ya we yo he ha Give me the diminish, don't delio no day, nigga much good, my we done it. Give me the diminish, don't what a big soul day, nigga much good, abahon madu. Abon madultinet, dan gisuk eliga haluk sigu ulau si amo we aheu we yo we ha yo yo we yo he ha ya 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 we yo we yo we ha ya ya we yo he ha 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 ya we yo give me the diminish, come delio no day, nigga much good, my we done it. Give me the diminish, don't wear a big soul day, nigga much good, abahon madultinet, abahon madultinet, dan gisuk eliga haluk sigu ulau si amo we aheu we yo we ha ya ya we yo he ha ya we yo he ha ya ya we yo he ha ya we yo he ha ya we much to my we done age. Get me dead in my age. Done what I bet so dear. Nigga much to abahon madultine. Abahon madultine. Dan gisul teliga luk sigu ulau sik pamu we ya heu we yo we ha ya ya we yo we ha ya we yo we ha ya ya we yo we ha ya we yo we ha ya we yo we ha ya ya we yo we ha ya heu we yo we ha ya ya we yo we ha ya we yo we ha ya we yo we ha ya